The one trait women never forget in a man, most men never do this, yet when a woman sees it, she never forgets it. Sounds dramatic? Maybe. But think about it. You've probably seen a man who seems to have it all: confidence, success, even good looks. And yet, when it comes to building a real emotional connection with a woman, he completely flatlines. Why? Because attraction isn't just about appearance, wealth, or clever pickup lines. It's about something quieter, something deeper, something most men never learn. The truth is this: women are moved not by noise, but by presence, by subtle gestures, by behaviors so understated they're nearly invisible, but they trigger something ancient and powerful in a woman's psychology. Today, I'm going to reveal 7 of these hidden masculine traits. Not superficial tricks, not dating gimmicks, but primal behavioral cues backed by science and sharpened by the wisdom of Stoic men who knew how to lead without chasing. These are the things women rarely say they want, but feel deeply when a man embodies them. If you stay with me until the end, I'll reveal the one move that changes everything, a move so powerful it flips the entire attraction dynamic in your favor. Once you understand it, you'll never look at women or yourself the same way again. Before we dive in, if you're serious about mastering your presence and finally understanding what works beneath the surface with women, tap the like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications. Now, let's start with secret number 1. Gentle power, the touch that speaks louder than words. Picture this. You're on a date. Everything's flowing. She's laughing, leaning in. There's chemistry. You walk her to her car. You text her later. And then silence. Nothing. What went wrong? Most men think connection is built through talking, the right lines, the right jokes. But for a woman, real connection is felt, not explained. And one of the most powerful ways to make her feel something real is through touch. Not sexual, not performative, just real. A grounded, intentional moment. A gentle hand on her back as you guide her through a door. A slow, reassuring palm to her shoulder when she opens up. A soft, non-sexual massage before intimacy, one that doesn't ask, doesn't push, doesn't perform. Just says, "You're safe here. I see you. I'm present." This kind of touch isn't about getting something. It's about giving calm, giving presence. And that's rare. Women bond through comfort, not conquest. Through nervous systems that relax around a man, not react. You don't need to be a massage expert. You just need to be fully there. Your energy calm, your touch slow, your intention clean. She feels that. And she remembers it. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Don't waste time debating what a good man should be. Just be one." Most men chase tactics, but the rare few, the ones who embody presence, they leave a mark without ever raising their voice or begging for attention. And that's the kind of man a woman never forgets. How real men flirt: confidence without the chazza. Here's the truth. Most men flirt in one of 2 ways. They either try too hard, as if auditioning for approval, or they freeze, afraid to make a move. Both come from the same place: insecurity. But women don't respond to effort. They respond to energy. Flirting isn't about impressing her. It's about enjoying her, playfully, calmly, without outcome dependence. Let's say she says, "I love sushi." You don't light up like it's a quiz you passed. You smirk and say, "Sushi? Come on." Clearly, you haven't been to my spot yet. Not arrogant, not pushy, just confident. Just playful enough to tease her world without forcing yours on it. This kind of flirting says, "I don't need you to like me, but I like this moment with you." That's rare. Because most men chase approval. A real man, he's unfazed, grounded. His validation comes from within, not from her laugh, her reply, or her attention. A Stoic man's flirting doesn't ask for connection. It creates it through presence, stillness, and self-assured energy. No theatrics, no scripts, just a subtle tension she feels in your silence, in your smirk, in the way you hold eye contact and hold yourself. Master this, and something shifts. She starts leaning in. She starts chasing the moment. Not because you're trying, but because you're not. You've stopped performing. And that's what makes her stay curious. The silent gesture, touching her hair at the right moment. It sounds simple, touching her hair. But when done with intention, it's not just physical, it's deeply emotional. The scalp is one of the most sensitive areas on the human body. A gentle brush of the hair can activate not just sensation, but trust, intimacy, and safety. Picture this. You're in the middle of a deep conversation. She's laughing, relaxed, leaning in. A strand of hair falls near her eye. You reach out slowly, calmly, and brush it away. You don't say a word, but in that silence, you've said everything. That moment, it's not random. You didn't do it to impress her. You did it because the connection called for it. And that's the difference. You don't do this on a first date. You don't do it when things are still guarded. You wait. You feel. You let the warmth build until your gesture becomes a natural extension of the energy between you. This is Stoic intimacy, restraint, awareness, discipline. The understanding that we don't act just because we feel like it, we act because the moment is right. When you touch her hair, not to take, not to perform, but to acknowledge her, you create a subtle bond. It's not a move, it's a message. I'm here. I'm paying attention. I see you. And that quiet, grounded presence, it lingers longer than any pickup line ever could. Your hand on her back, the gesture she never forgets. To the average man, it seems like nothing. But to a woman, it speaks volumes. You're walking side by side, maybe through a crowded place. You step slightly ahead to open the door. As she walks through, your hand gently rests on her lower back. And no words, no performance, just calm, quiet contact, intentional and steady. That one gesture says what most men try to say in 1,000 wrong ways. I'm here. I've got this. It's not about control, not about dominance. It's about presence. Leadership not in noise, but in movement. Protection not in possessiveness, but in calm awareness. Most men miss this. They're either too hesitant, afraid to act, or too aggressive, forcing touch to feel powerful. But a Stoic man understands balance. He leads without pulling. He supports without pushing. His touch doesn't demand, it reassures. And here's the beauty. When done right, she may not even register it consciously. But deep inside, something shifts. Her nervous system relaxes. Her guard drops. Because for a moment, she feels something rare. A man who doesn't just reach for her, but grounds her. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time talking about what a good man should be. Be one." That's what this gesture is: action over words, stillness over display. You're not touching her to prove anything. You're touching her because your presence speaks for itself. And that quiet confidence, it stays with her long after your hand is gone. Be her anchor, the protector in small moments. Let's be clear. Women today don't need saving. They're strong, capable, independent. They're not looking for a hero, they're looking for safety, not in grand gestures, but in the quiet, consistent ways you show up. It's the way you handle the small things. You don't let someone talk over her in a group. You make sure she gets home safe, not because she's weak, but because she's valued. When she feels uncomfortable, you don't lecture or overreact. You stand by her, steady, silent, unshakable. This isn't about being controlling. It's about being composed. Your energy doesn't rise with the noise, it anchors her beneath it. Because here's the truth. A woman doesn't want a man who overpowers the chaos. She wants one who's unmoved by it, not panic, but poise, not drama, but direction. And that kind of presence, it builds a trust that loud, performative men will never earn. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When life gets tense and you stay grounded, she feels it. She trusts it, because in a chaotic world full of overstimulation and shallow masculinity, your stillness becomes her safe place. You're not rescuing her. You're reminding her she's not alone. And that calm, reliable strength, it's unforgettable, emotional. Pull the psychological power of a dream. This one is subtle, but done right, it's devastatingly effective. Next time you're texting or talking to her, drop this line. "You know what? I had the strangest dream about you last night." Then pause. Let the silence work for you. Let curiosity pull her in. 9 times out of 10, she'll ask, "What was it about?" Now here's the secret. Don't go over the top. No grand romance. No fantasy drama. Keep it light, warm, real, slightly mysterious. Say something like, I don't remember all the details, just that we were sitting in some cafe, just talking. It felt good, that's all. Simple, effortless. And yet it says so much more than any compliment could. What you've just done is plant a seed. You've placed her in your subconscious, not in a forced way, but in a natural, unintentional one. You're not saying, I've been thinking about you. You're showing that she's on your mind even when you're asleep, even when you're not trying. And that's unforgettable, because it taps into something deeper than logic. It activates emotion, mystery, presence. This isn't about manipulation. It's about authenticity with edge. Stoic men don't chase attention. They create intrigue. They don't tell women what to feel. They create the space where emotion can happen on its own. And when you can do that, she won't stop thinking about you. The beard effect, commanding respect without a word at first glance. It might seem like a style choice. Just aesthetics. Just grooming. But it's more than that. A well-kept beard awakens something primal, something ancient in both men and women. Throughout history, from warriors to sages, from kings to Stoics, there was a common thread. A presence that didn't need to speak to be respected, and yes, the beard was part of that visual language. Modern research backs it up. Women often associate facial hair with strength, maturity, and dependability. But here's the key: only when it's intentional. A sloppy, unkempt beard doesn't project masculinity, it projects neglect. But a beard that's shaped, maintained, and worn with purpose, it says, I have discipline. I respect myself. I take who I am seriously. It frames your face, sharpens your jawline, adds weight to your expressions. You speak and the words land differently. But this goes deeper than hair. Even if you can't grow a beard, the principle stands. How you present yourself is how the world reads your inner world. Marcus Aurelius wrote, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Your outer presence, the way you carry yourself, groom yourself, show up as a reflection of your internal order. You don't need to shout. You don't need to convince. Your energy, your composure, and your appearance say it all without a single word. And that's the power of quiet mastery. Lead from stillness, the energy she feels before you speak. Let's recap. A gentle touch before intimacy builds trust, not tension. Flirting with calm confidence draws her in, not through pressure, but through presence. The well-timed brush of her hair, it speaks louder than any line ever could. Your hand on her back in public, that's quiet leadership unspoken, unforgettable. Protecting her in small moments earns respect, not by force, but by steadiness. Mentioning a dream places her in your subconscious, creating emotional gravity. And a well-groomed beard, it isn't just style, it's a signal of inner order and masculine discipline. Now here's the truth. You don't need to force these things. You don't need to chase, perform, or prove. Let these behaviors rise naturally from your mindset, your presence, your values. Because women don't fall for tactics, they respond to energy. The men in the top 1% don't try to be seen. They are seen because their energy is felt long before their words are spoken. They lead from stillness, from awareness, from a place so grounded, the world naturally leans in. And when you move from that space, she doesn't just notice you. She remembers you. Embody the stillness, strength without noise. So ask yourself, will you be like most men, clueless to what truly moves a woman beneath the surface? Or will you become the man who understands what few ever master, the man who leads without chasing, touches without taking, and speaks volumes through silence? If you're ready to live these lessons, not just hear them, drop a comment below. Let me know which of these secrets struck you the hardest. And if this gave you real value, don't just scroll away. Hit like, subscribe, turn on notifications, because this journey, it's just beginning. Stay sharp, stay grounded, and remember, true power doesn't shout. It simply is.